The bill makes provisions relating to the issue or grant of registration of businesses in the port city. The bill includes provisions that made it mandatory for the regulatory authorities to grant approval to the requests of the Commission seeking regulatory approval for the establishment of businesses in the port city. The Supreme Court stated that this is inconsistent with Article 12(1) of the Constitution, as it takes away the discretion of regulatory authorities. The determination states that this inconsistency could be remedied by ensuring that the regulatory authorities retain their discretion within the port city. The bill creates a parallel structure of regulation where both the Commission and the existing regulatory authorities exercise concurrent powers. The Supreme Court determined that the regulatory structure set out in the bill lacks clarity and provides for the exercise of arbitrary powers by the Commission and thus is inconsistent with Article 12(1) of the Constitution. The Supreme Court pointed out that this inconsistency would cease if amendments are made to ensure that the Commission, in exercising regulatory powers vested in other regulatory authorities, should always obtain the approval of the respective regulatory authority. The bill attempted to grant powers to the Commission to prepare and enforce all community rules, including criminal sanctions and development control regulations in the port city. However, the Supreme Court determined that the said clauses are inconsistent with Article 76, read with Article 3 and 4 of the Constitution, as legislative powers should be exercised by Parliament alone. The Supreme Court in their determination held that the Commission cannot draft development control regulations and rules that impose criminal sanctions. The determination states that the bill as it stands now does not provide for any guidelines in the granting of exemptions or incentives, and adds that neither the individual exemptions nor incentives go before Parliament for approval. This grants the Commission unfettered discretion to grant exemptions to businesses and, according to the determination, is inconsistent with the Constitution. The Supreme Court stated that there must be transparent guidelines based on which the exemptions are granted, and these guidelines themselves must have the approval of Parliament. The bill attempted to grant powers to the Commission to impose and collect taxes. The Supreme Court held that this is inconsistent with Article 148 of the Constitution because taxes cannot be levied without the consensus of Parliament. However, the Supreme Court added that the inconsistency can be cured by limiting this power to the imposition and collection of rates. Court held that cumulatively, the provisions in the bill that require a person to obtain prior approval of the Commission in order to visit the port city and requiring a levy to be paid for goods and services upon leaving the port city are inconsistent with Article 14(1)(h) of the Constitution. Court took the view that it restricts the movement of people in Sri Lanka. The Supreme Court proposed a number of amendments to cure this inconsistency. Clause 37 permitted an authorized person to engage in businesses in partnership with a citizen outside the area of the port city. The Supreme Court determined that in such event, exemptions granted cannot apply to businesses carried on the outside of the port city. The Supreme Court proposed that the inconsistency can be cured by limiting the operation of the exemptions granted to businesses in the port city alone. Further, the determination notes that the Attorney General had agreed to include amendments to ensure that a majority of the commissioners in the Port City Economic Commission are of Sri Lankan nationality. Under the original formulation, all commissioners in the Port City Economic Commission could have been foreigners.